Hello. Uh, Welcome to Sunday Slow Jam. Took a break last week just to kind of recover, and we're back at it. And so this week's theme is process intently. This kind of threads through, if you ever follow me on Instagram or Facebook, or come to any of my in person classes, I have a mantra every week, and they tend to thread together. So we're going to honor some stillness. We're going to listen to our bodies today and really intentionally process what's going on. So, props as far as this week goes, it's a little different. Normally, I say we have all the pillows and the blankets. If you need those things, please grab them. You can grab a couple of bed pillows or throw pillows, maybe a blanket or two, or large bath towels, just in case if you get cold or you feel like you need to tuck something under a knee. Please get those. And then if you don't have yoga blocks around your house, you can always use a thicker book or two. Just make sure they're not too slick so they're not sliding out from underneath you. So we want to be safe there. Otherwise, we're going to start on the back. So go ahead and lie down. I'm going to close this curtain so we can adjust the lighting. And get yourself comfortable. Listen to what your body needs as you're lying down. Maybe your low back's a little tender. We're getting more active in outdoor activities. We're pretty close to official summer solstice. So we're outside more, we're gardening, we're pulling weeds. We might be walking or biking more. So just being attentive. What does my body feel like today? And if your back's tender, keep your knees bent. You could always take your feet a little farther apart and let your knees fall into each other. Or if you feel comfortable, you can extend both legs. You can always do one leg up and one leg down and switch. However you are comfortable. Then as you get yourself settled into the space, start to notice, what does my breath feel like today? What does my body feel like as I'm resting here? Where am I holding tension? Where is my breath moving in the body? And these are all modes of processing intently. You're being present on purpose with yourself. And so if your breath is staying in your upper chest, can you shift it down into your belly? So the first half of this year has been pretty intense. So our breathing can be shifted upward when we're stressed out. And when we move it back into our belly, we can encourage the nervous system to settle and be calm. Being attentive to sounds of digestion. My stomach's growling. That's picking up on the mic. I get the stomach's growling a little bit. If you're hungry, if you're thirsty, what's your energy level looking like or feeling like? Being intentional to be with yourself as we start to enter back into maybe a heavier work schedule. It's easy to go back to old habits of ignoring what you need, or if there's pain or whatever it is. It's easy to just blow right past it, but can we practice this intentionality, this mindfulness? And it's as simple as coming back to the breath going down into the belly. And maybe as you're breathing, you start to notice that when I breathe in, certain areas of my body are tightening. And when I breathe out, they start to relax a little bit. So maybe being aware of those areas that are talking to you as well. And this will be useful as we move today. Let's take a few more rounds of breath, really feeling into the body, front and back side, the sides of the body. And so if you're opting for legs straight, bring your knees upright and we'll walk the feet wider than hip distance apart. And all we're going to do is slow down the movement side to side with the knees. Your hip may come up off the floor. Notice if you have a tendency to want to bring the knees together and do it a different way or what you're used to. I encourage you to just step out of your box a little bit here of comfort and try something different. So, feet wider than hip distance, keeping them planted on the floor, and they just may roll side to side with your legs. When we slow this movement down, you may begin to notice what's happening, what's shifting around in my body, what's pulling, what's sore or tight. And even noticing, are you going super fast? Can you slow it down and really feel into the legs and hips? And as you're doing this movement, if you catch something that's starting to pull and you're like, ooh, I need to breathe into that area and pause here, take it. Take the pause and rest into this twist and breathe into those areas. And as you do so, notice if you're squeezing your glutes, your back. Where are you gripping or holding maybe tighter than necessary? So if you see me pausing and you feel like you need to move, please move. Or if you see me moving and you need to pause, do what you need to do. Let's work our way back to knees upright. We'll walk the feet in a little bit. Let the knees fall into each other. We'll come back to the breath and just find your breath rhythm here. Counting your inhale and then counting your exhale. They don't have to be equal unless you feel like you need them to be equal. And not feeling like you have to do more or less than, just noticing where you're at in this moment with your breath. And we're going to do a dynamic movement with that breath count. So might take a few rounds for you to get adjusted. We're going to inhale, lift the hips and the arms. As you finish your inhale, you complete the posture. Your exhale guides you back down, arms and hips. Completing exhale as you complete the posture. Inhale, arms and now legs, your feet lift up off the floor. Exhale, lowering back down. Inhale, press and lift into bridge. Completing inhale as you complete the bridge. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, extend the legs, lift the arms overhead. Exhale. So the challenge is to let your breath guide your movements. If you're moving ahead of your breath, are you thinking about something else? Can you stay present in your body? Noticing the sensations as you're breathing and moving. Last one, we'll land with our feet on the floor. And then we'll take the knees into the chest. Maybe rocking side to side. If you need happy baby. And we're going to make our way around the table. We're going to keep that breath, rhythm, and pace moving. So if you need to regroup as we get to a different plane, your breath might change. So take a pause here in a neutral spine. Find your inhalation into the belly. Find your exhalation count. And then we're going to move with the breath. So as we expand our belly downward, we can move into cow pose. So inhaling, lifting the chin, exhale, rounding the spine. We'll just keep that movement. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. And then as you're ready to round back into child's pose, trying to complete your exhale in child's. Let your inhale guide you forward, maybe moving into cow pose still. You're just starting to pay attention to your own body. What movement is necessary right now? Maybe cat-cow is where you need to stay. That's okay. So notice if there's a tendency, I need to keep up with what she's teaching me right now. Well, I'm teaching you to listen to your body. So if you feel cat-cow is where you're at today, stay there. If you need the extra movement, add Chakravarasana. Even more if you need to add figure eights. Or you can go in a circular pattern with your body, really bowing in the sides. Just kind of play around with free form movement here, noticing your pacing and your breath as you do. Letting go of good or bad. Just being attentive to, ooh, this feels pleasant or unpleasant. This is a sharp pain. Ooh, I need this movement. Just paying attention. So listening to your gut instinct, your intuition, and moving there, honoring it. Don't forget your head and neck. Sometimes when we move into our bodies, it's easy to forget the space that we tend to live up into on the daily. And then we'll come to rest in child's pose. So take your time getting there and being attentive to child's pose. Do you need your arms extended out? Do you need your arms back by your legs? Do you need your knees a little farther out so your heart can be closer to the floor? And you can even take this in puppy where your hips are a little higher. So if you feel like hips to heels is just not it, you can come up and stay a little higher.
notice where your breath is now and what your pacing is now. Notice if your temperature's changing. How does your energy level feel? And you could even rock your forehead side to side if that feels nice for you. A forehead massage. So keeping in mind, if your knees are tender, tuck a blanket or that bath towel underneath. And if you're in full child's pose and your knees are aching, come into puppy. That's a little less pressure on your knees. So there's that mindfulness again. You have the power to change how you feel in your body by supporting yourself a little bit more. And let's pull forward to table. We're going to extend one leg. Press the heel down around the spine. Breathe into the back of the leg, the calf muscle, maybe the sole of your foot. And as we pull forward, step that foot forward. We're going to pull forward and then straighten. Stirring some energy up here. You do not have to sit all the way back. You can just make this more about the leg, the front leg, and your hip. And this is where your book could come in handy. If you need a little extra elevation, you can, I don't know if you can see that. We're going to straighten the leg without locking the knee. So straightening the front leg. We're staying kneeling so you can pad your knees. And then don't feel like you have to reach all the way up by the foot. We're going to lengthen the spine and then twist into the front leg. Option to wrap or reach. Wherever you're comfortable. And we'll bend the knee again. We'll reach tall. Lean to the side of the front leg. So my right leg's forward, I'm leaning to the right. If your left leg's forward, lean to the left. Breathe into your side. So you may notice something waking up on the side that's exposed all the way through the back leg. Come back to center, we twist. Checking in. I need to bring my knee forward a little bit. Noticing how this leg feels, the back leg. If you feel like you could pick up the back foot and catch it, great. If not, great. Please honor that. Again, check in. If you're hearing, I should be doing something, who's telling you that? I always ask that question. Who's speaking to me right now? Because that's not authentic to me or my body. I'm not going to do it. And it's okay to even try it out and let it go too. Let's come back to center, reach tall. Release. We're going to tuck the back toes and come back to downward dog. Nice and slow. A gentle pedal of the feet. So in downward dog, I get this question a lot. Do my heels have to touch the floor? No. So if you're downward dog and you're up on the ball mounts of your feet because your calves are tight, that's okay. You might see some yogis that have their feet flat on the floor, but that's their body. That doesn't mean you have to. Back down to table. Extend the opposite leg. Press the heel around the spine. Pull the heart forward, step. And then we go back to forward and back. Inhale forward, exhale back if you're adding breath with your movement. If you want to add that breath pace as part of your movement pace, go for it. Let's do one more and we'll pause on the leg extension, front leg straight. If you need your book for support, we're going to twist into the front leg. Option with the top arm, extend or wrap. Come back to center, bend your knee, reach tall. Lean to the direction of your front leg. Breathe into the side. Come back to center, twist. Check in. How does the front thigh muscle feel all the way into the hip? Do I really need to add picking up the foot or catching it? Is it adding or taking away from my experience? An excruciating pain is taking away from your experience, probably. Is it taking away from my structure? Am I scrunching to get it? That's affecting your breath. Can you keep your space open? Release, come back to center. Coming down to the inside, tuck the toes, slow pedal in your downward dog. Really paying attention to what's shifting around in the body. You might notice your hips moving around. There might be some clicking, crunching. And then take a big step forward with whatever foot you would like, because we're going to come parallel. And this is really important to pay attention to the backs of your legs. If your knees are tender and your feet are all the way to the edges of your mat and you're feeling panicked, you don't have to be that far apart. If you need your block or your book, placing that close by. And we're going to do some spinal roll-ups. So your inhale, we're waving the spine long, coming up halfway. Exhale, soften back down. Inhale, wave up halfway. Exhale, waving back down. Couple more. Once you get to the fold, being attentive. Do I need support? Place your block under your hands. Do I need to stretch my arms out. There's white dog. You can reach back between the feet. If you're close enough to the floor to touch your forehead down, do not force it if you're not even close. That's not a measurement of success here. You could reach out toward your feet. Picking one that feels suitable for you today. Noticing the backs of the legs, the backs of the knees. And then we're going to lift halfway up. And we're going to take opposite arm to leg. So we're creating a twist. Your free arm, you can reach, wrap, you could extend over your ear. You could keep it steady if you feel like that's keeping you from falling over. Whatever's comfortable. And if you can't reach your leg, you could always go to the floor in that general direction. So don't feel like you have to reach your leg. Slowly unwind and move to the other side. Same thing, maybe this side feels more stuck in the spine or more mobile. Unwind back to center. Let's lift halfway up. We're going to turn the toes of one leg. So one foot's going to turn to face the short end of your mat. We're going to walk the hands over into triangle. So your back foot is already set up. Again, if you need your support, place your book under your hand. If you need a little elevation or a stack of books, if you need a little taller, top arm can go over your ear, up or back. And even being mindful of where your head is turned. If you have tension in your neck, maybe horizon. If you feel like you can gaze up toward the sky, great. If you feel unsteady doing that, maybe gaze toward your foot. And we're going to come back to our parallel feet. And let's just sway the body side to side. If you need to bend the knees. Get some circulation going. And then we'll switch sides. So turning the toes of the other foot toward the short end of your mat. So now we have the back foot into triangle. We want to keep the heart open. So let go of needing to touch the floor. If you do not have anything to prop yourself, at least rest your hand on your shin. Yoga is not about getting to the farthest result right away. We get comments a lot as yoga teachers that I'm not flexible, but that's not the point. We gain flexibility as we practice. And our asana is meant to open our bodies up so that we can sit in meditation for long periods of time. So that's truly what yoga is about, is to prepare us for meditation, the asana part. Let's come back to center, to that wide fold. We need that side to side sway. Get that circulation going. And then we'll come around to our downward dog. Down the hands and knees, child's pose. Finding your breath into your back. Noticing if anything's coming up as you rest here. Maybe you notice your body shaking, or maybe some self-talk that's coming up. What's coming up for you? And who's speaking to you? And is it really true for you? That's processing intently. Really paying attention to the words. Because we can say mantras all day, whether they're positive or negative. They can be very hurtful. You keep saying, I can't do something. Well, then it's just going to keep perpetuating that. So any number of things could come up for that. Just being mindful and attentive and asking, is this authentic to me? And is it my true voice speaking, or is it my ego being hurtful? Or is it words someone else spoke to me that I've held on to for a long time? All right, back up we go. So table to downward dog. If you need that pedal, go nice and slow. And we're going to start creeping the feet up just a little bit. So it's going to be, your feet might get flat on the floor here. And we're going to step a foot forward. Both legs are straight. And again, bring your support system in if you need. Checking in. Do I need my hands on the floor for support? Can I keep my back heel tapped down? And if not, can I hop it forward a little bit more? Or do I need more space because I feel scrunched? We all have different leg lengths, torso lengths. If you want to challenge your balance, you could bring one arm back. So your opposite hand would be toward the floor from the front leg. You could bring both arms back if you feel comfortable. I never feel comfortable on carpeted floors, so you might be experiencing that same challenge. It's like practicing in grass. It's kind of lumpy outside if you are outside too. So very similarly to our warm-up that we did, we're going to twist into the front leg. Your top arm can come to the waist or back. Reach tall or over the ear. Just be mindful. What do I need today? Can you press some weight back into your back heel a little bit? Circle that top arm down. Be attentive. How have your hips felt? If they're really tight, come down to low lunge. If they haven't been really tight, heel toe your front leg or your front foot over to your opposite hand and bring your knee down for pigeon. Come at an angle so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So leg not quite at a right angle. Your foot might slide in. It's okay. Your book can now be a prop for under your seat if you're sitting really high. Your blanket, your pillow, that's what those props are for. And then we can work our way down to a fold. And the fold might be this. It might be a little farther for some of you. Be mindful of your breath as you move into this fold in pigeon. If there are sharp areas in the body that are taking your breath away, is folding actually taking away your breath? Can you give yourself room to breathe? And so if you're in the lunge, it's the same thing. Your arms are to the inside of your front leg. I'll come up and do that too. So if you're in lunge, my arms are to the inside of my front leg. But you might need to stay on your hands. This pose can stir up a lot. We hold emotions in our hips, in our tissues. Notice what comes up there. Don't try to push past it. Don't try to ignore it. It's coming up for a reason. Be attentive to that. Hold it out in front of you. I see you, I feel you. And don't overanalyze it. Just notice it. And we're going to take the hands, walk back. Whether you're in lunge or pigeon, we're going to lift up. So if you're in lunge, just come up onto your and lean back a little bit. Pigeon, we're just staying upright. And then we'll come back to downward dog. Carefully. We all have our ways of getting there, so take your time. If you need a pedal, we're going to do that slow creep back up toward the hands, but not all the way, and switch. So switch legs. Check in. Maybe this side needs more stability. Maybe you feel comfortable bringing one arm back or both. Are you adjusting some weight back into the back heel? Take some of that weight off. As you're folding forward, you're putting weight forward. So can you shift it back a little bit? Find your steadiness. We're going to twist into the front leg. Taking your top arm however you need. Remembering your support under your hand if you need it. And we'll come back, being mindful of the hips again on this side. If you need to come down into lunge, we're going to bring the arms to the inside. If you're in lunge, find your fold. If you're comfortable and feel like you could do pigeon, heel toe over to the opposite hand to set down. Ease yourself into the fold. Keep your breath in mind. We want torso structure to be open. So not scrunched. Propping yourself as needed with pillows or blankets or book or block. And again, remaining attentive. Sensations, temperature, mood, energy level. And not pushing past. Being present. Walk the hands back. We'll lift the torso, being attentive to the back leg. So if you're in lunge, we come up to the knee and just lean back a little bit. You're going to get that pull here. And then we'll shift back to downward dog again. Take your time. Find your own route if you need to. Pedal if you need. And then we're going to come back down to child's pose. Check in. How am I feeling now? Where's my breath now? And then we're going to come around to seated. One leg out, one leg in. So you can do this a little more angled if you need to. You got a little more range of motion. You can extend out farther. We're just going to lean toward that extended leg, either bringing up and over. Remember, we're keeping the heart facing forward. So if you find yourself starting to turn, you need to come up a little bit more. Extending the arm over is too much. Waist or low back. Roll up and turn to fold over the leg. So now our heart's facing the leg. Letting go of needing to touch the toes. Just being attentive to your back, the back of your leg. Roll up. And take that extended leg and bring it around to the front. Bring your bent knee up. Option to keep it this way. You can go to the center or across. Or if you feel comfortable tucking your leg in, if that feels steadier for you, you can do it this way too. Neither's better than the other. We're going to twist into the knee. Checking on your range of motion. Maybe you get your elbow to the other side. Maybe you're hugging. Counter twist. Roll up and extend the opposite leg out, up and over. Taking your variations with the top arm, however you need. Roll up and turn. Letting go of needing to reach the foot. It's not the point.
Come up, taking your extended leg, swing it around to the front, bringing your bent knee up or across. So if you're keeping it in toward your hip, make sure you have space between your foot and your leg. If you feel more comfortable tucking your leg in, you can do that as well. Twist. Counter twist. And we'll roll up, unwind here, and let's work our way back to the back. Knees to chest. If you feel the need to do a little bear hug with the forehead roll up, you can take that. If not, keep your head resting on the floor. If you need a happy baby, you can always move into happy baby. Now bring the knees together. We're going to take them over to one side. This is where we can add extras. We can kick the top leg out. Add cattail. Feel like you need a little extra quad stretch without breaking the structure. Keeping the heart open. Noticing if you're still tensing anywhere. And we'll switch sides. Adding your extras on this side if you need to kick the top leg out or add cattail. Come back to center. One last hug. If you need that roll up, you can. Happy baby. I'm going to set the feet on the floor. Bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees fall open. Again, we can tuck props under the knees. If your hips are really tight, you can also slide your feet a little farther away or cross your legs like you do sitting on the floor. Arms wherever you'd like them to be. Starting to ease into a restful space. We did a lot more movement than we have in weeks past, but still restorative posturing. And you have the option to stay just as you are if you need to extend the legs or bring the knees back up as we began.
And moving into your own relaxed resting space. And so we're going to do a mindfulness practice. And it can be very meditative as you're resting here. It's a great practice to take off of your mat into everyday life. We tend to choose to fall on the wayside of distraction instead of just touching into distraction and being mindful that it's there. So the practice is first really locating your breath flowing through the body. And then as you're breathing, beginning to notice maybe sensations in the body, the physical movement that your body makes as you breathe, the chest rising and falling, the belly rising and falling. You may even notice sensation of movement in your low back. You may feel those deeper internal sensations, that hunger, digestion, thirst. And then perhaps there's a signal somewhere else in the body that's calling your attention. Pain, numbness, tingling. That could be at your toe, could be the hair follicles on your head. And we're not looking for anything, just here. You are present in your space. You're just letting things call your awareness as they come and go. So we've got the felt sense of the breath, which is our anchor. Then our sensations in the body may start calling. And then thoughts may start to call. It could be a chain of thoughts. It could be one constant thought. And then you may return to your breath. And then a sound may come in from surrounding rooms, outside. We're just touching in and acknowledging life is happening as we're resting here, and that's okay. It's what one of my mindfulness teachers calls meeting life on its own terms. We're not trying to force something to happen. We're not looking for anything. We're observing. Even noticing if you're fixating in any one area. Is it intensifying with that fixation? Can you come back to your breath to regroup? And you find yourself drifting off, and that's okay too. Sometimes we have to surrender and let go just enough. And even being attentive of judgment. Are you judging yourself for wandering off, for thinking, for allowing your body to and brain to be doing the work that it's designed to do? We're not meant to be perfect. Life isn't designed to be perfect. And that's where we can meet life on its own terms by processing intently instead of having an expectation of ourselves, of others, of trying to hold perfection. And so I'll pose the question, where do you need to maybe be more mindful, to be intentional and present in your life? And if you're not sure, just sit with that question. You don't have to have the answer right this second. It may come to you. It should come to you rather than you seeking it out. Where do I need to be more intentional, mindful, and present in my life? And perhaps it's coming to you now in form of an intention that guides your every action from here on out. If that intention is arising, connect it to your breath, the natural breath that is flowing right now. If no intention is arising, just stay with that question. Stay in that openness to receive that calling to be intentional and mindful. Now begin to deepen the capacity of breath. So we're lengthening it out into the belly, allowing it to flow out slowly, becoming aware of all of the sensations in the body, the texture of the floor or mat or blanket beneath you. Pull to the side. And take your time here in this journey. Just take a pause on the side. Before coming up to a comfortable seat. And so as you come to seated center around the heart, your intention, your breath. Bowing into yourself. Honor intention and practice. Honor your space for allowing you the time to practice. And honoring mindful moments to process them intently. Namaste. Have a beautiful week. Thank you.